Hello and welcome, everyone. It's Saturday, it's Earth Day, and this is a little bit of a look at our cleanse through the from the point of view of energy and vibration and the interconnectedness of many spheres of our being while we're doing the cleanse. One of my favorite all-time quotes is, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And it's Nikola Tesla's quote. And why I have these specific things, these specific images on the slide, is because of it's to honor the innate intelligence that's within all of creation. So we see a few spirals here. There's a galaxy. There's this picture is DNA in a spiral pattern. This is the pattern found in many, many aspects of nature. And I have another picture of it that has a spiral to it. And this is an old ancient drawing of the energy centers. And this spine, this whole part of our spine, the currents that flow through the spine, do so in an intertwining spirals. And it's part of the central nervous system, and this is the central nervous system in the center, and the spirals are our autonomic nervous system. So we find these truths about energy everywhere. Thought we would start with a simple practice of diaphragmatic breathing. And because on Zoom you can't see my entire torso, I thought it'd be really nice to just have a picture so we can talk about hand placement and diaphragmatic breathing and do some breathing this way. I want to talk about it first briefly, and then we'll just go into some breaths. Breathing is one of the most powerful ways to shift our consciousness and gain I don't like to use the word control, but to be able to master the nervous system and even the emotions. When we use deep diaphragmatic breathing, which has already been taught throughout the cleanse, we are also able to influence lymphatic drainage at the core level of our digestive tract. The main lymphatic vessel is right about here. It's called the chyli cisternae or cisterna chyli. It's speak about it both ways. And it's very deep. It's basically in front of the spine. However, when we do diaphragmatic breathing, we are increasing and stimulating lymphatic drainage to the digestive tract. So let's get ready to practice this breathing for a little bit. Find a comfortable place. Make sure that you are sitting where you feel balanced, or as comfortable and balanced as you can. If you're in a chair, that you can feel your feet on the floor and you're feeling aligned, like your spine is straight. And then take one hand and put it can even be a little slightly higher than where you see on this lady, but just below, or just at the collarbone. So your fingers are coming down lower than the collarbone. And then the other hand, bring it to your belly, bring it to the lower abdomen. Most of the time, we are not doing abdominal breathing. We're not using our diaphragm in such a way that our abdomen is moving. A lot of times our breathing is right up here and we don't even realize it. And that doesn't give us the benefits that I was just referring to. So right now, with one hand at the clavicles and one hand on the lower abdomen, take a breath in, and as you breathe in, feel your diaphragm moving up. Well, actually, the diaphragm isn't moving up when you inhale. Let me back up. Just take a deep breath in and feel your abdomen moving outwards towards your hand that's at the abdomen, and then let go. Do a relaxed exhale and just let go. And feel your abdomen moving back in. Take another breath. Take a full breath. And with that hand that's on the abdomen, feel the breath push the abdomen out. And let that breath go. I'd like us to do one more, and then I'm going to have us do it in a rhythm that's really going to help the lymph and really affect the nervous system in a positive way, bringing about more of a parasympathetic nervous system response. You might notice if you've been stressed or anxious, or you were rushing to get to the presentation, or something that's been going on today, that it doesn't feel all that easy to relax into these breaths. And so let's do it enough to shift your energy. So once again, take a deep breath in. And we're going to do these breaths to the count of 3. So breathe in, 1, 2, 3. Hold for 3. 1, 2, 3. Exhale for 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to repeat this. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2. And while we're doing this, I'll go back to counting in a minute. Do all of this breathing with the mouth closed. I forgot to mention this. I've learned these specific methods from a functional medicine certified chiropractor who's an expert in cleansing and lymphatic drainage. And she recommends doing this daily to help the intestines with clearing metabolic waste. And so that's especially important for us in the cleanse, but you can do this every day for just a few minutes. So again, inhale with the mouth closed. 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Let's do it again. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2. Let's do one more. Inhale. 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. And then notice how you feel. I recommend actually doing this practice for 3 minutes at a time. And I have to say that it's not possible for me to do this breathing and do the instruction at the same time because I have to talk. So the key things are really feeling the abdomen move with that inhale so that your breath is all the way down to the abdomen. Holding and then letting it go. And doing this all with a closed mouth if possible. So let's see. Let's go to a little bit of discussion. The main reason, I'm sure everyone has heard of chakras or energy centers. And there isn't any one correct description of what color is associated with them or what it means. And the main reason that I chose this is because I think the drawing is really nice and friendly and clear. And because the person who created this graphic uses the word honors with each one of the energy centers, with each one of the chakras. Today, partly this is here because this is a way to really tune into our awareness of our own energy body. Partly this is here because I'm going to focus a bit on the solar plexus chakra. And that partly because it has to do with digestion, it has to do with the cleanse, it has to do with what happened, well, with protection, or with the possible need for protection. And I'll get into that in a few minutes. So if we think of ourselves as multidimensional beings, then one way of looking at this is saying, well, we have a physical body, we have an emotional body, we have a mental body, and we have an etheric body, and there is more than those levels. And these are spheres of our existence. And they are very intertwined. They affect each other. So we could be doing this cleanse from the point of view that this is a physical body experience. We're taking products and choosing what we're eating every day and the amount of water that we're drinking because we're working on the physical body. And as was pointed out in a beautifully done offering in the Facebook group on yesterday, on Friday, by Ariana Harley, she really talked about the emotional part of cleansing and how things can get stirred up and how we're releasing things. And I also want to point out, I think she mentioned it, but definitely we've been all in the cleanse looking at the portal, the portal that's happening right now in between these. We've been honoring the 2 full moons, which mark the beginning and the end of the cleanse. And we just had the new moon, which is accompanied by an eclipse, a solar eclipse. And all of that is opening up doorways for us should we choose to set new intentions and let go of those things that no longer serve us. And so those may be physical things. We may have emotions to release. we may want to clear our energy field more. We may have things coming up that we're aware of that we were not as aware of when we weren't in the journey of the cleanse. And as I said, I really encourage you to listen to, and if you're on Facebook, or if you're not on Facebook, it should be on YouTube. It will be maybe already on YouTube by now, what Ariana had to say about emotions and the emotional body. And it was just beautiful. Okay, so that said, this is a photograph of a page of a book on vibrational medicine. And the reason that I like it is that it begins to show, it shows us the connections between the energy centers and the physical body and the nervous system. It's not the most high quality graphic, but I've never been able to find it any other way than this one. So what we see here is these are energy centers. These are the chakras. And we also see that this area is the brain. Whoops, I didn't want that to happen. Let's go back to that guy. So this area, this is the head and the brain, and coming down from the base of the skull is all of these vertebrae, and therefore all of these incredible amounts of nerves. And you'll see that for each energy center, there is a direct connection from the spine to the energy center. And I would take it even further to say that for most of these chakras, there's also an endocrine gland associated with it. And so who we are physically and who we are energetically are really connected. And that's why I like showing this picture. So this, I think, might be, let me look at the next slide. This might be a great time. Oh yes, I want to do this. And then we're going to practice I want to talk a little bit about using essential oils for protection. So this has to do with the energy that comes from our belly button. And another word for belly button is navel or umbilicus. And this picture shows that we have, in the many ways that energy flows throughout our system, that we have this spiral that emanates from the center here in the umbilicus. And if you look at these lines in this drawing was created in probably the late 40s or possibly early 50s. And you see that in that spiral, it's touching all these key parts of the body. It's touching some of the major joints, the shoulder, the hip, and it's pointing out connections where you see the elbows, you see the wrists, you see the ankles. And it's a two-dimensional representation of something that's not even two-dimensional. And these are the words that go with this line drawing taken from Polarity Therapy and Dr. Randolph Stone. And that is in talking about the umbilicus and the currents of energy that come out from this center, that they are vital currents of energy flow. He describes it as the fire of life and nourishment, and that the center of digestion, assimilation, elimination, and oxidation are all part of this. And so to take this just a little bit further, so Dr. Stone used the term oxidation on that slide, and it is a part of metabolism. It's can be called cellular respiration. And we just did breath, and we did abdominal breathing, and we did it very consciously. And it's one way to help with cellular respiration. Also what we're doing on the cleanses. And so this term comes from science and medicine. Ayurveda says the same thing. It talks about Agni, which is digestive fire. So let me come back here. Vital currents of energy flow as the fire of life and nourishment, the center of digestion, etc. Okay, in Ayurveda, which is an ancient system of wisdom and knowledge and practice for full life vitality and healing, Ayurveda honors Agni, and Agni converts food in the form of energy, which is then responsible for all the vital functions of our body. And it's not just in ancient knowledge. I got this sentence out of PubMed, a 2010 article. So now I want to talk about, we can get out our oils and talk about energetic protection. And let's see. I have a little bit to say about my wish in teaching a ritual or a practice to work with protection is that you can take this ritual and then learn from it whatever it truthfully feels like, or that it serves you truly in some way, but then be open to making it your own rather than this is a prescribed thing and I have to do it this way. Maybe you feel like there's another oil that works better, or that is more your go-to oil and does the same job, or there's something else you would add to this that suits you more. So this is just a way to, and these are very simple, and I did not create any of these. These are, this first one comes from Desiree Delaunay, who talks about using tea tree. So I have my bottle of tea tree oil here, using tea tree for protection. And she talks about the need for protection because, and this is why I chose this, is that some of us may be becoming very sensitive during the cleanse. We may be, and if we are feeling sensitive, we may be feeling more sensitive to other people's energy. We don't have to be on a cleanse to have that happen. I remember I was working with a client. She had a session where she went really deep inside, and then her next errand after that appointment was to go to Costco. And she contacted me after she got back home and she said, I'm never going to go to Costco again after an appointment with you. And so that was just the energy of Costco and the parking lot and all the people and shopping and the lines. And sometimes we need a little help getting through those experiences. So one way to use tea tree is actually, I forget the exact wording in the book, Emotions and Essential Oils, but it's actually for energetic protection, one of many oils that can do that. And the way that I learned it from Desiree was a great place to put it is on the inside of the wrists. So take a drop and rub a drop into the inside of each wrist. And I also recommend that after doing that, also take that in, breathe it in, and really acknowledge I'm doing this to disconnect from all the energy that's not mine. I'm letting it go. I'm giving it back. I'm just clearing my energy body now using this tea tree. Another practice, and this is why I had this slide with the belly button, is this is a very powerful place on the physical body to affect our entire energy field. And there's many oils you could use here. And this picture, I chose this picture because to me, it's got the spiral, it's got life force energy. It represents like a healthy, vibrant solar plexus chakra. So sometimes where we feel that we're collecting energy or unwanted emotions or other people's uh, energy, feelings, requests, demands, whatever, is in the solar plexus area. So solar plexus, by the way, is just be in the center of the abdomen, just below the ribs. And you could consider it a wide area. And if you take your lemongrass, if you didn't have these oils and you're watching right now, you're watching the replay or here and you don't have it, you it's okay. Just find an oil that you would like to, well, I'm talking about the belly button and the solar plexus. So let me back up. The area that we're going to use the lemongrass is the area between the solar plexus and the belly button. So let me go back. So here approximately is the lower end of the rib cage, and the solar plexus would be right about here. And at the belly button, which varies on people, some people have a very low belly button, and some people have one that's higher or in the middle. We're going to take the lemongrass, which is very strong. It's great for protection, and rub it. In fact, it's kind of hot. So if you have super sensitive skin, I would recommend diluting it with some fractionated coconut oil or some other vegetable oil. And we're going to just apply it here and go up and down and affirm that we're releasing that which is not ours. If you don't have lemongrass, choose something. Maybe you have tea tree, maybe you have something else you really like, but get in touch with that region of the body and what it feels like for you. And just take a moment, get the oil on your fingers, dilute it if you feel like you need to, if you're using lemongrass, and just rub it up and down on the belly. And affirm that you're clearing that part of your energy field. You're letting everything go and you're restoring you and your own energy. Another great oil to use there is petitgrain. And since I mentioned earlier that I'd like to encourage everyone to make these practices their own, I want to share something that I learned from Erin Fugate. And she wasn't teaching me, we were just doing it. We were, or at least when maybe she figured it out a long time ago, but we were at a farmer's market and we had petitgrain. Both of us had petitgrain with us, and also Whisper. And I had recently listened to a training by Desiree Delaunay, and I knew that petitgrain was powerful for protection. And what I discovered is, and I learned it from Erin because she was doing it, is that you can use the petitgrain on the abdomen for protection. It's a really intense oil to work with. Then following that by using Whisper is like taking protection first and then Whisper allowing oneself to soften because the protection is already there. And so that was, no one taught me that. Erin taught me that. She was using it. And they also smell absolutely divine together. I actually prefer the scent of Whisper when there is some petitgrain mixed with it. So that's just a little example of creating it in your own what works for you and experimenting and finding out what works for you. Okay, now I think at this point, I'm going to end the Zoom. And I will take any comments or questions.